Good afternoon, welcome back. Here we are, your daily dose of gangster, season 2, episode 2, lessons from Gran Turismo. Today's episode, we're going to talk about like father, like son, not. Guys, here's the thing. Growing up, did you hear any limiting beliefs? I believe that anybody here had a set of limiting beliefs growing up that they had to overcome when they achieved adulthood. What is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is a belief that is based on negativity, on fear, and also on lack. Negativity, fear, and lack. Okay? Negativity, fear, and lack. And in the movie, there is this scene that the two characters are talking and one of them says something like this. And I want to bring this to your attention because you might have heard this growing up. People that come from where we come from, we don't do this kind of thing. We don't pursue this. You want to do this, but this is too much money. How are you going to get to do this if we don't have the money? And so forth. So if you're a parent right now listening to me, I want to share with you something that I heard in a workshop a long time ago, that it says, your kids will not only inherit your qualities, but your kids will also inherit your emotional and mental limitations and limiting beliefs. And that it was so strong that at the time I was in financial services, and I remember some of my agents coming back from this event with me and says, all right, I need to overcome this as soon as possible because I don't want my kids to believe that they cannot do something, that they don't have what it takes, that they don't think they're good enough and they cannot do it. I will hate for me to sabotage my kids' minds and heart and skills, okay? So why I want to bring that to your attention? Because your limiting beliefs, if you don't handle them, they're going to be manifested on your daily activities, on your daily choices, on the way that you handle people, on the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you talk about yourself, and also the way that you talk about other people. If you are a person that you think that you're not worthy of many things, chances are you're going to take disrespect as normal. Chances are you're going to be okay with bare minimum or even less than that. Chances are you're going to see yourself in situations that you're rescuing people from their problems. It's going to be very easy for you to be involved in codependent dynamics and rescuing people, people pleasing, and always making sure that everybody's taken care of while you get ignored. Not saying how you feel because you don't think that what you have to share is worthy. Oh, if I say this, there's going to be a fight, there's going to be an argument, and I'd rather keep the peace. Even though on the inside, the anger that you feel is going to find ways to manifest itself in passive-aggressive manners. So why don't you be courageous and make the initiative and decision to say, you know what, this ends here. One thing that I heard from a great guy, his name is Eric Thomas. If you don't know Eric Thomas is a African-American motivational speaker. He used to live in abandoned buildings. He used to be in gangs. He used to be like, his childhood was very chaotic. Nobody in his family ever graduated to high school. People that came from his family never accomplished anything great. And this is him speaking, okay? And he says that I'm not gonna do that. And eventually he left the gangs and he left the abandoned buildings and the life of crime. And today he's one of the most paid Yeah, I think he's one of the most paid motivational speakers for NFL. I believe if you want to have him on retainer, you gotta pay either 25,000 or 50,000, something like that. I heard that before. But anyway, so why is important that you confront these limiting beliefs? Because your limiting beliefs had little thing to do with you, and it had a lot to do what you heard from your parental figures. Now, I don't want to harp on your mother and your father here, but I also heard before people talk to me saying, you know, G, I don't want to be like my mom, and I don't want to be like my father. My mother never did this, it was always this or always that. My father always this, always this. Like, I don't want their life. Well, if you don't want their life, you gotta do something different. If you want to have the things that most people don't, you gotta do the things that most people won't. It's just that simple. But let me cover with you. I have here almost 60, okay? 60 limited beliefs that I want you to do a self-check, okay? And tell me if you ever said something like this. Well, I'm not good enough. I am too old or too young. I'm not thin enough. Or if you're a guy, you might say, I'm not strong enough. I'm not buff enough. I'm not pretty enough if you're a girl. I am too big, or I am too shy. I'm not brave enough. I don't have the discipline. I'm not that kind of person. It's just not in my personality to do A, B, or C. It's not my thing. I'm too out of shape. I am too tired. I can't help it. It's not my fault. It's not my job. I cannot do it. I'm not creative enough. I don't have what it takes. I'm a loser. This job is too hard for me. Now tell me, how much are you energized after those statements? But let's keep on going. I'm terrible at this job. I will never find another job. I can't just quit my job. Nobody's going to pay me $50,000, $60,000. Where can I go and be paid $100,000, $150,000, $150,000, $300,000, and so forth? I don't have enough experience. I don't have the skills. Or you can use my excuse. I have an accent. Nobody's going to listen to me. The market is saturated with professionals of this field already, so there is no point in me pursuing this. Somebody else has already done it better. I will never be as good as them. Oh, it must be nice to have money. It must be nice to have a great husband and a great wife. Oh, it must be nice to have all these trips. It must be nice to have a comfortable life. Whatever, okay? I'm already working my hardest. I'm giving my best. I don't have time for that. I never have time for myself. You don't know my story, G. You don't know my background. Well, I just gave you Eric Thomas' background right there. Okay? I cannot be myself. I am too much. I am too clingy. I am insecure. I'm jealous. I am too broken for a relationship. Nobody's ever gonna fully accept me for who I am. I am a terrible friend. I am too quiet to meet new people. This is just who I am. I'm just lazy. I don't want to do it. I grew up poor, so I will always be poor. I will always be in debt. I will never have enough money. I will pay off my credit card eventually, hopefully someday. Men, they're all the same. They're just looking for appearance, and they just want sex. Women are all the same. They just want a man with money, and then they will use you. If you're a good guy, you get taken advantage of. I get paid a lot, so I don't need to save money for retirement. I don't get paid enough, so I cannot save for retirement. I don't need to set goals. I work hard enough as it is. I don't need a business mentor. That's a waste of money. I don't need to write my affirmations. That's silly. That's woo-woo. I don't need to do a vision board. That's stupid. Why would I do that? I don't need to write my my gratitudes and things that I'm thankful for. I know I'm thankful for them. I will never get there. I might as well give up right now. Money is not everything. Well, that's why you don't have it. I will just do it later. Wealthy people are corrupt and selfish. See, I gave you actually over 60, but I want to bring this to your attention. Whatever you deal with gets dealt with. And whatever you don't deal with comes back to haunt you. The thing is, if you want to fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And your limitations will keep you captive and caged to a life of resentment, shame, sadness. You won't feel confident about yourself. And here's the thing. The childhood that you were born in, the household you were born in, you had no choice. And there were things that may have happened to you that were not the most optimal family dynamics. But if you no longer live with your father and your mother, you're no longer a child, it's up to you now to break any limiting beliefs so you don't pass to the next generation. So what are you changing today to make sure that your kids do not receive that limiting belief that you received? The greater things that you can give the next generation is the best version of you, a happy you, a self-confident you, a self-realized you, a person that loves God, a person that has their spiritual life in order, a person that looks themselves in the mirror and says, I like what I see. I live well with myself. So, it doesn't have to be like father like son or like daughter like mother. You get to choose how to break that chain. My name is G. Scott, your favorite gangster, and I approve this message. See you next time. Bye-bye.